What's up, guys? I want to talk to you about my NOSFET Apex electric unicycle. It's my favorite toy. It's by far the best electric unicycle for off-road. It's the most nimble. It has the highest battery boxes and pedal height and suspension travel, more than any other electric unicycle on the market. That would be rainbows and unicorns if it didn't have any flaws, but it does. It gets what's called stiction in the suspension, and we're going to try to solve that today and make it absolutely perfect. I'm going to get on the trail and show you what I think about it, how it works, how it feels, and talk techniques, performance. So let's check this out. I'm going to take this thing apart and see what we can do. So at the Apex, they have these wiper seals that are too tight from the factory. So this is an old seal, it's rubber. And it's like a millimeter or half a millimeter too small. Like you can see on the stanchion here. If we try to fit that on there, it's really, really tight. Look at this. I'm moving the whole wheel. So it makes the suspension kind of suck. That's why I had my buddy 3D print. And apparently you can 3D print squishy material these days. The feature is pretty awesome. And I put these in there and it's just like totally, like it does a good job. You can see it's wiping the oil, but it's completely like loose. So the stiction, you can see when they have it in here with these new wiper seals, is like pinky. Just that's not how a normal Apex is. So that's worth it alone right there. I'm gonna test these out today on the track and see if I can notice a difference. But yeah, I'm able to hit all those bumps, no problem. I'm not feeling any stiction, not hearing any weird noises. Feels great. Now I also wanted to talk about this shock. I've got an air shock on here, Fox Float, factory 2025, and a couple things to know. It's really cool to try different shocks out. You know, with the Apex, you absolutely have to go aftermarket shock because the stock one is just D&M. It's reliable enough. People have blown them out. Both the air, no, I mean the coil shock holds up, but the air shock does get blown out after a while. I still like the coil shock. Problem is, it gets really packed out and it's super progressive and it doesn't hold air for more than one run. Now, the coil shock is much more predictable and reliable, but at the end of the day, it has no bells and whistles. It is just a spring with some damping control. So modern shocks have so much cool technology in them that you really got to upgrade. The biggest point is that you don't even get the full travel with the stock shocks. There's one more click, and it's because it's a progressive linkage, it's the biggest click. So it matters the most to be able to get that suspension to click into the highest position if you want to do trail rides like this and have the high pedal height, the high battery box height to be able to clear stuff and just mob up and downhill and in between rocks. So the Fox Float X Factory 2025 is a good fit, just goes right in there nicely, but it is an air shock. Woo! And air shocks are progressive, so they're really floaty up top in the first third of the compression, second and third area of the stroke get really, really hard, and you'll bottom out a lot. And you'll have to pump it back up after a ride like this where you're bottoming out. It loses air. However, I will say, I'll go for like 15 rides and it'll still hold 275 PSI. But you go above 300, you'll start leaking air. So that's interesting about the air shock. And I love it because going over little bumps like this, man, you don't feel a thing. It's literally, as it says, it's a floating experience, man. And boink, you can pop over stuff. But if you mash over rocks downhill, you want more control than this allows. And that means you need more cush, less progressiveness, more linearity, down low in the second and third third of the stroke, if that's the right terminology. Sorry, mountain bikers, if I'm getting it wrong. I'm just now learning about shocks. Okay, so this tire is the TNT stock street tire that I've been running this whole ride. My Shinko 241 deformed on me on the ski basin. Terrifying. And, you know, just out of nowhere. To die. Oh no! Physics are physics. So I do not trust that tire. It's a tube type tire. Can't run it tubeless. And therefore, the frickin' sidewalls aren't gonna be as strong. The bead won't seat as strong. And you have to have a tube. I don't believe in tubes, man. It's just another part that's gonna fail. I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but tubeless all the way. I have mobbed this street tire, tubeless TNT street tire out here over everything, rim shots. Dude, it doesn't care. It doesn't let any air out. A little bit of slime in there helps. And it just hooks up for a street tire. The only problem is it's so round that, you know, here and there you hit a bump at a weird angle. You know, you can see it's kind of round. So if you hit a rock right on the corner or right on the shoulder, it's gonna buck you in the opposite direction of where you hit that. And you don't always know which direction that's gonna be. You have a more knobby tire like the other TNT, which is a knockoff of the Shinko 244, technically a knobby. It's flatter and it will eat up those sidewall punches, those rim shots, and you'll still have control and you'll still maintain your direction for the most part. I've gotten pretty used to this off-road. At first it was squirrely, but I'm realizing, like, dude, I still have so much grip, and you can just go through that. Like, you can see that little drift there. You can have controlled drifts, accelerating and then braking into turns. You can slide. Oh, here's a big bonk. Whoa! There goes minus to 360. Talking and holding this thing and maintaining balance with my non-dominant hand is a trip, dude. Look at that, blasted my knee sideways and ripped my pants. But that's what it's for, man.
Oh, you lost the thing.
The mic? Look at that. Okay, we lost some traction, boys. I'll just have my friend 3D print it again. Whoa, rim shot. If I had my dirt tire, man, I'd be leaving my brother in the dust. That's the truth. But with a street tire, we're still making it work. Oh, look at that. Woo! I'm taking it easy after that white. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Or not. Oh, it's a leg burner when you get up speed like this. Okay, I just turned up the rebound and high speed compression because I am bottoming out so much on low air pressure. Yeah, I got him in the straights, but then he catches up on the downhill like any mountain bike would. Bonk. Oh, woo, man, I'm sweating. You having to put any work in?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, this is what I come for, man. Usually bring my dog and there's usually a puddle of water for him here.
How are you like out of breath at all?
Yeah. Sweating. So one thing about this tire is, like, it's making me better because I have less grip. And I'm kind of excited about that. You know, I'm really, if I had just one tire in the world that I could choose, it would be this one. If I couldn't switch, I only had one wheel and one tire on it, it's this one for sure, because it does everything. Now, if you have never ridden on a street tire, because most of these wheels are just shipping out with knobby tires these days, you're missing out, man. Not only because the street performance is so fun, you know, to be able to just get wheel body separation, lean, and drag your hand on the asphalt at 45 miles an hour. But the kind of balance you gain out here on one of these tires is like performance enhancer. By the end of the day, you'll be a better rider because you're slipping. You're not just staying at 80% of traction. You're going to 110% and then pulling it back.
Are you gonna hit jumps with that thing?
Yeah, hell yeah. Damn, he's keeping up. All right. Ooh, chunky. Yeah! Whoa, that's some pitted out rockiness. Sure, that was a gap I could have done. All right, man, it's getting rocky again. Knuckled it. Yeah, those are the bad ones anyways. Up ahead of the decent ones. Oh, this is kind of treacherous. Oh, rocks in the berm. Wow. What is that about? Oh. Don't go that way. Lily pad.
One day.
Not with this tire. Woo! I'm sore. Legs are burning. Fuck, man, rim shot right and left. These rocks are so much worse. Getting a lot of riders out here though, that's good. Woohoo! Fucking mud. I wasn't bottoming out on any of this yet the other day. All right, big jump. Not big. I'm okay. Woo! I'm gonna have to Dremel this again,
Maybe.
but that'll look cool.
I think it's just dirt.
No, it's scratched.
Is it bad?
Hi! And you ever have that feeling like, I kind of feel like I'm gonna crash again. You're gonna fucking crash again. You should listen to yourself. I just smell burnt rubber. And man, my hand bent back like this. I thought it was broken, but I didn't feel any pain, so.
Oh, you'll feel it tomorrow.
Yeah. How's my helmet?
Dude, the GoPro.
Face dirt. Helmet's all good.
Exactly.
This is how we learn. All right, face, riding. Oh, fuck. Ow. Woo! All right, here we go, big jump. So I've got my wheel apart for the probably 20th time because after one ride today, it was just all sticky and creaky. I'll show you a clip of that right now. Suspension's getting creaky already. Listen. It's not, you can feel it. It's getting stuck. Yeah. Just installed these 3D printed dust seals. Grease looks okay on the inside, but it is getting dirt on the inner seal. This side, I mean, see that like, yeah, that's actually a lot of dirt. So I think it's just mudding it up, not working, not at all. And it felt amazing at first because there's so much less friction because these are like a slight size bigger than the stock ones I have over here, right? Remember those? They're all dirty. But those are tighter, they cause more stiction, but they actually protect properly. So I don't know, people online are telling me that, oh yeah, just 3D print these and it'll get rid of the stiction. It doesn't work. Literally one ride. Maybe you guys know what's up. Maybe I did something wrong. So I just washed these suckers up. They actually look pretty decent, man. These are some tough little O-rings, little wiper seals. It's 2,500 abusive miles, and they still look kind of brand new. It's kind of wild. So yeah, just gonna stick with what works. All right, let's get these wiper seals installed. While you're doing maintenance on this, I like to get all that old stuff out. Look at that. That's so much dirtier than any other time I've done this. Usually comes out pretty clean. I'm gonna do that a few times. Yeah, you just wad up a paper towel or two. Just stick it through there. Be careful not to scratch anything. So like that. Stick it through. Get all of that old gross grease out. Man, I'm gonna have to do that again even. You wanna install these, make sure it's clean first. Like there's these little grooves. Yeah, I can feel more dirt coming out when I do that. Yeah, it got really dirty today from those prototype wipers. No bueno, man. I don't know. Maybe I built them wrong. Maybe I had the wrong information. Now maybe you just have to stick with this undersized wiper seal that's too tight and causes that friction. I'm fine with that if I get the reliability. I can honestly say that I put this through a torture test many, many times. You know, it's never broken. It's only been a needy bitch. Some sort of Italian motorcycle. Just needs so much fiddling with to get it to stay reliable. But, you know, part of that is my own fault because I keep modding it so much. You know, if I had just left it alone from the very beginning, never changed the shock, never effed with this, and just re-greased it properly once every 500 to 700 miles like everyone else, probably wouldn't be saying what I'm saying. I probably would say it's perfect and has no issues and buy it, buy it, buy it. I mean, you should buy it. This is the good stuff. Silicoleum, you can buy it in a big tub. Then you get your stanchion. Fill that up with grease. You can do it like that, or you can put it on your finger. Just get it up in there deep. And swish it around in circles. You want as much basically as can fit. It's already so much firmer just sticking that in. Look at this. I'm moving the whole wheel. It's a little better now that I got grease on it, but dude, that's how sticky these are because they're undersized. One special saucy ingredient. This is Fork Boost Lube. There's different kind of brands. I think they're all the same. Just get like an organic one. You put that here and you put that there. That is like really good lube for the seals. And then you get it off. All right. Testing out the suspension now that I put the original seals back on. And it is butter, man. Honestly, I don't think it felt any better with those 3D printed seals. And I might have, here we go, bonk. Woohoo! I might have thought in my head and in my imagination that it was just, you know, really good at first, but yeah, right, the mind is a powerful thing. So, but now that I've got those original seals back on, lubed it up, got all that gunk out of there, it feels freaking great, and we'll see how long it holds up today. Woo! Oh. All right, so it looks like these wiper seals didn't work for me, or at least I didn't get them to work. Maybe there's something you know that I don't know. Please post it down in the comment. Tell me if there's something else I can try. The biggest issue I had was the stiction, but after doing all this testing and retesting and going back to the stock seals, I'm realizing that it's actually not that big of a deal. If I do proper maintenance on this, I pack it full of grease, and I have those original wiper seals on there, it's going to be a good enough ride. You know, you lubricate the linkage properly, and you put a fancy shock on there if you want a nice, comfortable, plushy, floaty ride. You put an air shock like the Fox Float X Factory, or if you want to be hitting jumps and you want to be going over hardcore, gnarly type stuff, you'll definitely want a coil type shock in there. And I think I'll have to try that soon, is find a coil shock that'll fit in here. If you have any recommendations for shocks, I'd love it. I'm looking for a coil shock that fits without rubbing on the linkage and also gives you that full suspension travel and has that good telemetry. So as for these 3D printed wiper seals, it's not worth it in my opinion. I think it's more important to focus on things like the proper tire for your style of riding, how to make this thing as reliable as possible, like waterproofing the headlight, which I'll talk about in one of these next episodes here, because that is its Achilles heel. I've gone through 4 of these headlights and they've all had water damage, which puts it into limp mode and you'll be stuck. So if you're crazy like me and you like these real rider reviews where you're going 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 tenths, and you want to see more content like this because it helps you become a better rider yourself, then please subscribe, like. Hope you guys keep having fun, go hard, and make it home safe.